Hi everyone, it's Power Rangers Red here. I apologize for not making a video since Thursday of last week when I reviewed Power Rangers Super Legends for the for the Sony PlayStation 2. Anyway, I know I made two videos with the Titanium Ranger and the Samurai Pink Ranger, but they were out of sequence, and I like to do them in the seasons as they fell into. So tonight, I'm going to be reviewing Power Rangers Super Legends on the Nintendo DS. Now, please note, I've never played the DS. There are some people who have DSs, and you had a little pencil thing. It's white. And that's your scroller, I guess. And Nintendo DS is supposedly like Nintendo's upgraded version of the Game Boy, but they call it DS. Now, I'm pretty sure the graphics are all the same. I'm sure the gameplay is about the same, and I'm sure all its problems are the same. I imagine on DS they have a problem with dragging people around. That's probably the first problem. Like if you're the one player, it's one thing, but if you got a problem with jumping, and I swear to you, it's probably even worse on a Nintendo DS because you got to because if you were two-playering it, and I don't know if DS is two-playered or not, but if you were two-playering it and you were the two-player, you get dragged along. I swear there are certain times in the game where you just can't jump. Other times, you get your ass beat. It could be like Moltor from from Operation Overdrive. It can be Turkina from Lost Galaxy. It can be Chubo from Ninja Storm. It can be Goldar from Mighty Morphin. And you just get your butt kicked. I am not making this up. It can be that one guy, that one character from Space Patrol Delta, I forget his name. And the problems of getting lost. No, not how it's somebody else. Getting lost in this game is kind of hard because you have to. These levels are so hard that sometimes you find yourself I actually had to go on the Walt Disney's website on the game just to read up on how to do this and how to do that because the game guide isn't that helpful. Now, let's get to the major storyline of the game. In the Power Rangers Super Legends that was made by Disney and approved on a PlayStation by Sony, unlike its Sony PlayStation 2 counterpart, the Power Rangers Super Legends on Nintendo DS has Emperor Grum as the main character. And apparently he's going around trying to do what Lord Zed does on the Sony PlayStation counterpart. I imagine that versing him is probably a major ordeal too. It seems to be easier to beat them in their small form, and then in the Megazord form, it's like a bunch of push this, push that, push this weird combination, and you get your butt kicked. Now, there is some good things about the game. I haven't played it on a Nintendo DS, but I'm sure the music is really good. The graphics are really good for its time. And some people might complain, how come Zeo and Turbo and In Space aren't represented? How come Lightspeed Rescue and Time Force and Wild Force aren't represented? How come Dino Thunder and, aren't represented? And, how come Mystic Force isn't represented? Yeah, that might be a minor gripe why those seasons at the time were not represented, though. And why only Mighty Morphin and Lost Galaxy and Ninja Storm and Space Patrol Delta and Operation Overdrive were represented at the time. To be honest, I would prefer the one on the Sony PlayStation. Nothing against Nintendo DS, but you have to practice and get really good at manipulating that little stick thing. I don't know exactly what it's called. But I just never really understood why that stick thing might be hard. I think the only downside is that the stick thing, if you're not used to it, it might hurt the gameplay. But anyone who has played this, let me know, are there certain differences between the Sony PlayStation 2 and the Nintendo DS version? except for Emperor Grum being replacing Lord Zed. And let me know the name of that one villain, you know, Space Patrol Delta, who was going around taking all their, beating them up and taking all their, you know, badges from them, because he's one of the villains you end up facing in the Space Patrol Delta version and the Sony PlayStation version of Power Ranger Super Legends, because his name I forget. But that's it for me. Hope you all enjoyed this review, and I will see you all later. Oh, and by the way, this game, just like its Sony PlayStation 2 counterpart, was not made by Bandai. Actually, Disney made it through one of their video game divisions. I think what they call it, Advanced Studios or something like that. So, yeah, that's it. See you later. Power Rangers Red. May the power protect you.